Big swig of water.
Yeah.
I think we're live. I think it's happening. Let's see. I'll wait for my YouTube to kick in. I have my chat open. Okay, we're live, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the dev stream. As you can probably tell, we just launched Len'S Island. It's 3:42 a.m. for me, so it's been a very very long night. We're here with what's side? Over here we've got Ivan. Over here we've got Lars. So Lars has done all the amazing audio, sound effects, everything for the game. And Ivan, that side, he's everyone talks about how beautiful the water is. That was Ivan. He's an amazing graphics programmer. He's also helped out a bunch of different areas throughout the game. So a lot of the stuff that just looks really pretty and runs really smoothly, that's all thanks to Ivan. So, and I'm Julian. I'm the lead developer of the game. I am, you probably know me. This is my YouTube channel. So yeah, we're going to answer your questions. I'm going to play through Len'S Island. I have Len'S Island ready to go here. This is my cool little overlay. I'm just learning how to use OBS for the first time, so bear with me, everybody. But yeah, first of all, like, thank you so much, everybody, for the support, for everything. This is amazing. Yeah, we just launched this game. It's our first game I've ever launched. It has just been going nuts. So we've been watching all the Steam stats roll in. I think we're number 4 on the trending. We've got over 1,000 people currently playing Len'S Island right now as we speak, and it's only been out for like a bit over an hour, which is absolutely crazy. So it's going to be a long night for us, seeing the stats roll in, and then I'll probably go to bed at around 5 a.m. and then have a quick breakfast and then start fixing bugs. So we will, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the launch a little bit now with all of you, so we can actually sit back, forget that there's a mountain of things to probably do, and yeah, and just enjoy it. So get some questions coming in. We'll answer your questions for a little bit, and then I'll start playing the game, and then you can sort of watch me play the game and hear the guys, and we'll all talk and answer your questions. I'll be on for a couple hours, so however long I can stay awake for, basically, because like I said, it's almost 4 a.m. in Australia. But yeah, let's see these questions coming in. Are we gonna make a new game afterwards? Probably. Like I don't want to just stop at Len'S Island. We want to build Flow Studio into a a game studio and make games consistently. So Len'S Island is the stepping stone to sort of catapult Flow Studio. So we want to develop Len'S Island for a while, for a few years, and make that something really amazing. And then after that, we will work on some other games because I've already got plenty of ideas for other games. So we'll see. Oh, we've already got a donation from Spartan. Pickaxe only run. I don't know if people want to see that. That's going to be really difficult. I guess it might be interesting for people to see, like, the developer go through the game. I could try to a speed run. That actually could be pretty fun. I'll try to a speed run of the game, and everybody watching, you might be able to get some like developer tips and hopefully, I don't know, maybe see how to break the game even further because you can just see me play trying to break the game. Any questions? Why we'll be adding Linux support when we add in a lot more accessibility options and other things. It's just like none of us have Linux systems. It's been a bit too cumbersome for us to test because we are such a small team. So Len'S Island's developed by essentially 2 developers, myself and Martin, and then we have Ivan and Lars to help out and provide all these awesome sort of like polishes and all this amazing content to sort of make the game like a finished game. But we're a really small team, so like consoles and Switch, all that sort of stuff, more platforms will all come. Will all come in the next sort of few months next year. But we will get there, and it's all on the to-do list. Yep, co-op. Yeah, we've had obviously co-op multiplayer is the number one request that we get from anybody. So yeah, the goal is to when we launch Len'S Island out of early access, it will be a multiplayer game. That's the plan. To get there, it's going to take a load of money because we need people. We need people to hire. We need networking people. We need a lot of time. It's going to take a bit to get to that point, but I'm confident we can get there. And we have a lot planned more than just multiplayer. And the way that we want to do multiplayer isn't just as simple as just co-op. We want to make it a bit more special. Um, all right. And also, don't forget to ask questions about the audio and all the other stuff. So because you got three developers here, so we can all answer these questions. Um,
Yeah, for
awesome.
those asking what's Lars' inspiration for the music, I'm pretty sure that's Martin. Tell us, Lars.
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess just taking inspiration from a game that's in similar, in a similar style. A games that makes you calm, and so you can focus, and stays in the background while you build your house or run around. So it could be games just like The Sims, for example, or Journey. So there's tons of difference. I guess also, what was it, the game called, the roller coaster game, Planet Coaster, and the other one with the animals. So yeah, a bunch of different games, pretty much.
Are you talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, Planet Coaster. It's a pretty new game, but it's kind of similar to Roller Coaster
Is that
Tycoon.
like the Skylines to SimCity? Like, is that sort of like the equivalent
Uh,
to like how they extrapolated on Roller Coaster Tycoon to sort of made like a better version, more up to date?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they recently made a new game which was, instead of theme park, it's more of a zoo. So you can build like a zoo.
Right, right.
So
Those are my
I'll recommend checking
jams.
that game out.
Like Roller
Yeah.
Coaster Tycoon, like all the original ones, like one and two, and then three. I played so many hours on them as a kid. I just loved it. And like I don't think I ever once made like a functional theme park. It was always just like death traps trying to like
Oh yeah.
assassinate as many people as possible and just make whack stuff. Like it was just like torture chambers. But that's where all the fun comes from.
I guess it was the same for The Sims as well. Just trapping people in the pools and trapping them in houses with the fires and everything. So
Yeah, for sure. All right. Can you play with a controller? You can't. Well, you actually can. So, like, short answer is no. Like, controller support's not added yet, but we will be adding it soon. But you can technically use a controller. It's just like it's not properly set up yet. Though we have had, I think like Spartan in the chat has actually made a Steam controller setup. So if you have a Steam controller, he's actually made programmable options to use a Steam controller for the game. So there are ways to sort of like hack it, but we'll be adding proper like Xbox, PlayStation, just like generic controller support soon. That's one of the things on the to-do list soon after launch. So once we get over the pile of bugs and all the stuff that's going to come in indefinitely, we'll be adding controller support, more accessibility options, more key mapping options, all sorts of stuff. That will all come pretty soon. What else do we have? Minimap. Yes, we do want to include a mini map because like the world's going to expand. Like so, the world of Len'S Island right now, although it's like it's already pretty big because people are getting lost all the time, and that's why they're asking for a mini map. It's going to get even bigger. So if people are getting lost now, you're going to get really really lost when we expand the game. So yeah, we'll be adding maps, and there'll be sort of fog of war maps that you can like sort of like uncover as you get to sort of see those areas. I also had an idea to like make I think it's probably a bad idea to be honest, but I had an idea to make it so you draw the map yourself. Like the map tool is essentially just like a rectangle that comes up, and you have like a pencil, and then you can just draw whatever you want, and you can draw your own maps. But I think that will be like more tedious than helpful. Like I don't think it'll be really hard to do that. But I don't know. I really like the idea of making map like sort of map navigating some sort of like active skill, like something that you can sort of do actively and not just be like the same map mechanic in every single game. I would love to try and find a way that we can make it better in some sort of way and make it more like interesting and fun and like engaging. We will see. So like we're open to ideas. If you want to throw us your ideas, now's the time. But we take ideas on the Discord channel and everything and YouTube videos. So we very much listen to what people want and then we sort of go in that direction. Um, Here we
I
go.
have actually an idea about the minimap. I was looking through those files you sent me a while ago, and I had a pretty cool idea, but I'm gonna talk to you about that later.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've already got ideas for mini maps apparently, so we'll there'll be a lot of devlogs. So like the devlogs on the channel have been a bit slow lately because we've been finalizing this game. But once we sort of get back into the sort of kick of things, um, the devlogs will come back, and we will be showing you the progress of getting Len'S Island through early access and all the updates, everything. So you'll get a lot of opportunities to sort of share your ideas and like give feedback on what we're planning to add and all that sort of stuff. Well, there's a lot of questions to answer. Are you more stressed that it's released now? I don't know. I'm the same amount of stressed. I'm very tired. I honestly am a bit of a robot right now, and I have been for the past sort of week or two, just fixing bugs and getting everything ready. So I haven't really, yeah, I don't know. I don't have like I'm happy. It's really awesome. And like I can't, maybe Lars and Ivan have different feelings, but there's definitely a sense of relief that it's out, though. It's like it's not done. Like I can't just sit back and enjoy my life now. Like the work has only just begun. So it was, I don't know, I felt relief for 2 seconds, and then now I'm back to the big list of things to do. I don't know. How do you guys feel? How's it feel for you?
I mean, I think at least for my sake, it's since I'm not working on this full time, but I'm working with something similar in the crunch sense that I'm doing events, live events, so I can really see myself in that crunch feeling with the being really stressed and being tired and working and never taking any breaks. So, but I think you and Martin are the one that is feeling it really really hard right now. So for me and I think Ivan as well, it's been a little bit more, I guess, relaxing process because we don't have to work on this in that extent that you guys have been working on it. So at least that's my feeling.
Mm. I'm seeing comments coming
Yeah.
about the map, and I actually like these ideas. That what is it? Who was the Jacob said maybe you could have an map that you can edit with a pencil. I sort of like that idea, like a map that is like really really basic, like it just shows the blank sort of topography of the land,
Mm.
but then we actually give people like a pencil to sort of like draw in landmarks or like points of interest or like sort of customize the map with things that are useful to them. I like that idea because that's what I would love to do. Like, um, you draw sort of like colored paths, which are like your preferred routes through the dungeon, and like you draw circles where all the braziers are to heal, and sort of like being able
I
to
mean,
construct it.
yeah, I mean, Julian, you have been playing Rust. I'm not sure if you've been playing Rust lately, but I mean, for the past 2 years, they introduced the new map, which basically is what you're referring to now. So you
Mm,
have that basic visual of the map, but you can draw circles, you can draw on it, you can write on it, you can do whatever you want, and just
right.
add markers or whatever.
I never
So
knew
it
they
should
had
be
the
a cool way to
drawing
do it.
actually. I haven't played Rust in a while, but I played
Yeah,
it
it should be great.
with the markers and like I've seen the layers and stuff now with the different levels, like underwater and the train level and stuff, but I haven't actually used it. But yeah, okay, well, we'll take some inspiration from Rust probably. But yeah, all right. Well, let's answer some more questions. I'll start playing Len'S Island soon. So for everyone that thinks looking at three dudes is boring, there will be gameplay soon. I just want to answer some questions, and you can see us developers really sad and not sad, tired, and yeah. All right. Yeah, we are planning on getting an office focus lab. That's sort of step one, is get an office. But to buy an office, we need money, and to get money, we need to sell copies of our game. So, yeah, buy Len'S Island, and then we can get an office, and then we can keep developing Len'S Island and hire more developers and make this into something that's more than just a YouTube channel devlog series. It can become something. It can become a real game studio. So here's our opportunity to do that. How about special mounts? Yeah, we've thought about mounts. I've thought about also other like weird ideas, like adding, I don't know, like bikes and other sorts of modes of transport to the game. I'm not sure. I feel like mounts and modes of transport are probably really far down the list, though it would be really fun. And also maybe like water travel, like rafts is something we've thought about as well, because going to different islands and things. I would really like to include that. Um, all right. Is there some sort of development goals? Yeah, we have a lot of development goals. I guess trying to answer them quickly is multiplayer is a really big one. just expanding everything of what we have. So adding more islands. Like, and when I say more islands, I mean like completely different worlds. So you have Len'S Island now, which is sort of like, you know, one big island and then little islands off it. Sorry if that spoils if you haven't played it yet. But there's like a big island to explore in the game right now. But we want to add completely separate worlds. So you can go to a desert island with a rainforest and experience completely different dungeons. It's completely different biomes and themes, different enemies. So there will be different places to go to. And then everything that we have now will get bigger. So the current dungeon that we have is about halfway complete. I've actually already built like way more of what we have currently in the game. And there is a boss that's in the game right now that you can fight and hopefully, you know, conquer. And that's one of like 3 to 4 bosses that will actually be in the dungeons. So the dungeons will sort of double / triple in size, like the ones that are in the game now. And then there'll be completely new dungeons that are in completely different worlds. So there'll be a lot more content and worlds to explore. And then everything within the game will just become more. Like the farming system will be like far more in depth. The farming system we have now is really, for what we want to sort of make it, it's pretty bare bones. And we're going to make it like really like a standout. Like I want to make like one of the best farming systems. You know, short of farming simulator, I want to make it a really standout farming system that is, you know, yeah, just special and unique. And that's the same with the building. That's the same with the fighting. Everything will just become more. Simple answer, I guess. And then also like having in like hats and collectibles and like amulets and ways like potions, alchemy. There's a lot of different things. Fishing. There's a lot of different like new mechanics. Something you'll actually notice in the game right now is we've added a bakery. So it's not yet, you can't buy it yet, but you'll be able to purchase a bakery in the town and then be able to sort of like use your farms to grow wheat, refine into flour, bake bread, and then sell that bread back to the town, and then also use that bread to make like blueberry muffins and pumpkin pie and stuff, and then sell that back to the town. So there'll be like, you'll be able to run a business in Len'S Island and use that as a way to make money too. So we will sort of like everything that's in Len'S Island now, just imagine that, but just like way more of that thing. And it'll be more interesting and it'll require more in-depth mechanics and it'll just be more fun and more cool stuff to do. That in every direction is what Len'S Island will be in like a year or 2 from now. And then hopefully with friends, you can sort of play it with other people. But yeah, we will do more devlogs, so you don't have to worry about that. Is anyone in here like actually playing the game now? Because if you are, you can ask me for tips, and you can ask all of us for, I don't know, tips and tricks and all of that. The dungeon goes down a fair bit, Murphy. I don't want to like spoil it too much, but you will see me play the game in a second. So I will try and somewhat speed run through Len'S Island to try and show you a good amount of things and show you a bit of action and all of that. Will it be randomized? So like the stuff inside the dungeons is somewhat randomized, like all of the resources and enemies and things shuffle around, but the dungeons themselves are all hand built by me. Like every single pebble on the ground I placed. I don't even use like, and this is a bad thing. Like I definitely shouldn't be bragging about this, but we don't use any sorts of like level building tools or terrain tools or anything. Like the whole dungeon was literally just like me getting that thing and then placing it manually and then rotating it and be like, okay, that rock looks perfect. That's the way that I want that rock to look, and then moving on to the next thing. I just really like handcrafting levels. I think there's a certain like beauty and art to it. So I would really love to keep doing that within Len'S Island, but also do it in an environment where like I can spend more time doing it, because you know, when it's just such a small team, we've had to sort of do things quickly. So it'd be nice to really take my time to build some like really pretty levels. How to rotate a roof when using an Apple mouse? Oh, you can use the R key on your keyboard rotates roofs. The right click just cancels building, but you can also hit like escape or click off to cancel building too. Do you think? So, yeah, Cloudbud said, do you think anyone could break my 43 seconds world record of killing the boss? Probably not. It's a good record. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Alright, I'm going to start playing the game. So let's get Len'S. I've actually already got it loaded up. So let's... And keep the questions coming in. If you hear any beautiful music in the game, that's because of Lars, and you can ask him some questions. And I actually don't even know if I might have to turn my game up a little bit. Oh, I turned it all the way down. Let me know if the game's too loud, everybody. I'm like such a noob with streaming. I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, I've actually got beta testers worlds here, so let's just ignore that. Start a brand new world. I play with the mouse, by the way. You can play with WASD as well, but I play with the mouse. Where do I want to be from? I'll be from Zengard City. I never go from Zengard City. I'm actually a big girl. I'll go feminine. I definitely do not wear shoes. I'll go dark hair. I don't like... no jacket. I sort of have the same... I always end up doing the same characters in Len'S Island. I can't help myself. Cool. I like that. Will we get more music over time? I don't know, Lars, will we? That's a good question.
No. Yeah, I would like to make more music for sure. So we have 11 tracks now for the main island, and then we have some tracks for the caves. So I guess we'll have to see, but I would like to make more music both for the caves and for the main island. So that's the goal at least. So I guess that work starts already now.
Yeah.
So it'll be a volume number 2 of the Len'S Island soundtrack, I guess.
I would personally love some more music. But yeah, I think there's something so special about like being in these worlds and then having music and sounds and everything to complement them. So, you know, if we start making new worlds, it would be really special to be able to have, like you said, like volume 2 of the soundtrack that complements all of these new worlds that we've been able to create. And yeah, like it's been one of the most, I guess, standout bits of feedback that was received throughout beta testing, the demo and everything, was how much people love the music. So yeah, look, if you guys like the music, buy the soundtrack. You can actually buy the soundtrack bundled with the game, and you get a little discount as well. So if you like the music, buy the soundtrack, because Lars gets all that money. It goes straight to him, and you can support Lars so he can continue to make amazing music for everybody, but then for Len'S Island as well. So yeah, I would highly encourage to get the soundtrack on Steam, as it's available. It's available now, and you can stream it. It's on Spotify. It's on all the normal sort of platforms and things. If you just search Len'S Island, you can also see on YouTube. Lars has all the soundtrack uploaded on his channel, so you can actually see every individual clip as well. I'm gonna go straight into the dungeons. Actually, I'm not gonna muck around. Like I said, I'm gonna try speed test this a little bit. Speed run. You can tell I'm tired, so if I just start talking gibberish, that's because I'm really tired. But I'll try speed run this a little bit. So I'll go into the dungeons. Usually when I'm sort of speed running, I'll go into the dungeons first, because scrap metal and iron and coal are sort of things that you need pretty quickly in the game. All the UI I built myself. That's all. Like nothing is assets. Like there's almost, I honestly can't think of very many assets in the game that we didn't make ourselves. There's a couple, there's a few, but really not many. And especially with the set dressing and like the worlds and the environment, like all of that I made. That's all, like everything's made through SpeedTree. Every single cliff and barrel and foundation and stalagmite, that I just modeled that myself and made it. So yeah, we try not to use assets unless we actually have to. The things that we're probably lacking in is like the enemies and things. We would love to get an amazing enemy designer at some point to be able to animate and create like really cool new enemies for the game. Yeah, we'll be adding more character customization too, actually, over time. So that you can look forward to a lot more of that. Okay, skip this tutorial. I don't need you. Oh, maybe I do. I missed the jump. if you didn't know it, by the way, there's a tool chest here, so you can actually use this little tool chest, and in case you forget any tools or anything, you can use that to quickly change out your loadout. If like lighting these lamps is really good to sort of see what you're doing. I guess it's good for the stream too, so you can all see what I'm doing. I would probably suggest, if you're playing the game, I'll try not to light too many straight away, because you really need coal at the start of the game. That's one of like your most useful resources, because you can get a refinery set up. So me sort of speed running this right now, I'm just trying to get coal really quickly so I can get a refinery going. So clobber these little dudes. And you can see I'm trying to line up these crits. One of the hard thing with the critical hit system is, like, it's one thing to hit crits consistently when you're mining. It's a completely sort of separate thing to hit crits consistently when you're fighting. So yeah, it's hard. So I guess a word of advice is, if you're fighting enemies, try not to just like spam and go crazy. Like, try to sort of think about the attacks a little bit. And so, you know, you can see if I just sort of sit here and click, like, I'll get off a lot of attacks, but I'm not landing a single crit. But if I sort of just learn, like, even it's the second attack, that one's so hard. So you can see you can get like a pretty good chain together, and I got like a fair few crits in a row. And it's hard to do that. Like, you know, I made I made all of these crit windows, so I'm pretty good at hitting them. But if you can like sort of try and like really look at that circle, I'd also say like hearing, like listening for it is really helpful too. You'll be so much better at the combat system. Like, Len'S Island combat really rewards, I guess, like learning weapons and like learning how they work and learning the critical hit windows and all of that, and sort of getting better with that. It doesn't really reward just spamming too much. Like, in some cases it does, and some weapons are better for spamming. Some weapons, especially like the hammers, all of the heavy weapons like the hammers and the battle axes, you'll really need to hit critical hits if you want to actually do some decent damage. I'll get out of the cave soon, by the way, because I know it's probably really, really dark and hard to see. I'm just trying to find enough coal to sort of get myself started, which I'm honestly a bit unlucky at the moment. I'll get some barrels though. There actually are a couple of pirates in the game. So there is a little pirate town, and you can actually play blackjack. So we will try play some blackjack soon, and win a bit of money. So that's one way to try and speed run the game a little bit, is get lucky with blackjack. Alright, we've got an enemy coming. So yeah, the combat in Len'S Island is sort of broken up into two different skills, I guess, that like really control, I guess three different skills that really control the flow of combat. It's the critical hit system and how you can sort of time attacks. It's your movement. It's a very movement based game, like, so you can sort of move around, and then like the rolling, the dodging. You can do a lot, like not even with dodging. You can see I can sort of like get the enemies to sort of do a little bit what I want them to do. I can sort of bait them into an attack like that, and then sort of run through them. But then he got me. So then in some circumstances where like you can't sort of move around quick enough, that's when you do a roll, because there are like iframes. So when you're rolling, you're sort of like invulnerable for a second. So you won't be stunned, but you can actually get stun locked by enemies. So if there's like a massive horde of enemies, and they all jump at you at the same time, like, you will get destroyed. So you have to be ready to roll out in time, or have like a weapon that has knockback. The weapon system is really in depth. There is, I think it's around 70 weapons. Maybe I think it's like 68 to be specific. And there's going to be a lot more coming soon too. We'll get to 100 weapons in the game pretty quickly. And they're all very, very different, and they all do different things. They all have different varying levels of knockback and all sorts of sort of skills, abilities, and speeds, and like they're all very vastly different. Some of them have big AoE effects. Yeah, they're all very different. So
Dexlin is asking how long is an average playthrough supposed to be. I'm sure people can easily play 40 hours. Like,
yeah, I would agree. I would say from what we're seeing in beta testing, it seems like a full playthrough is anywhere between 20 to 40 hours. Obviously, if you're speedrunning the game, like, you can finish it quicker than that. But we've also had beta testers play it for upwards of 100 hours, like some almost near 200. So If you want to really get into the building and the farming and all that, you can play it for a very, very long time. But the thing is with Len'S Island, like it's sort of cyclical. Like, you know, to get far in the dungeons and to progress, you need sustainability. Like you need farms and you need food and you need stuff sort of happening. Is the stream still laggy? Cheddar, are we good? Let me know if the stream's ever bad, anybody. If audio's ever out or anything, let me know and I'll fix it
Oh,
up.
no.
Okay, that was Ivan's problem. Oh, he's back now.
It's a bit laggy actually, Julian.
Oh, I can chuck it on the different latency mode.
Looks like it's almost like the shadows are not following the same frame rate as the rest of the stream.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I can't actually change the latency. Wow.
Yeah, I would do that.
I can't change it while I'm streaming. Well, you might have to deal with any lagginess. I'm sorry. I'll get better at this, I swear. I could also try what am I got on high, that's fine. I should probably put on a frame rate cap. 50. Oh, 50 is gross, I go 60. Alright, get some music going as well. I better repair this bridge. I'll get some limestone. So I just wanted to go down the dungeons. Oh, I didn't get enough coal. I think it's 25 coal to make the workbench. Sorry, the refinery. Because that's my step 1. So I'll start building a house actually. What I just need limestone. There's so much to do. I feel I sort of, even as a developer, I fall into the exact same sort of flow that everybody else does when they play Len'S Island. Like you have one goal, yeah, okay, like I need to get some blueberries or like establish a farm, and then you'll just be like walking around the island and you think, oh wait, no, I need to do this, and then you'll like start doing that thing and you think, oh no, actually I need to do this, and that's what I'm doing right now. For beginners, better to get battle axe or sword. It's a good question actually. So like the swords are like the quickest items in the game. Like they will have the quickest attack speed out of any item. Their damage is like average. Some swords are like daggers and they're shorter and they're the quickest items in the game as far as attack speed is concerned. And there are some swords that are a bit slower and do higher damage. I would say generally the swords have pretty easy to sort of judge like patterns and like critical hit markers. The thing with battle axes though is the battle axes are a little bit slower than the swords. So typically like the slower the attack speed, the easier it is to hit critical hits. So like battle axes and hammers might be a little bit easier to hit critical hits. But because they're so slow, you get really punished if your like movement isn't perfect. So if you're not perfectly rolling and sort of navigating around the enemies and sort of judging their attacks because you're so slow with attacking, you'll just get clobbered. So I would say probably start with a sword or a spear and then try and like work your way into the heavy weapons, because the heavy weapons can deal tons of damage, but you sort of have to get like a little bit better at the game before you can really consistently like not get damaged while using them. Yes, some of the spears, like I really like the golden spear, which is the knight's spear. That's awesome. But I won't talk about any like the cool like set bonuses and all that sort of stuff, because there's a lot of like really cool unique items that are sort of secret, that you'll be able to see when you play the game.
Did you make a hammer just for me, Julian? Because I know there's a hammer called Hamar. Which is the town I'm currently living in.
That was actually I was looking up sort of ideas for all the names, and I was trying to think of like Nordic names and very like this like I don't know like old world English names and things as well. So that whole those whole set of items have like somewhat Viking names and somewhat like old like Victorian era names, and I try to be a bit sort of creative. But I would really love to introduce like an entire, like essentially Viking set of weapons. I think it would be so cool to have like when we introduce a new world in the future, having like a proper Viking set, and then we can have like the Lars hammer or axe, or you know, you can have your own signature style of weapons, and we'll make them up.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that's the new that's the next set dressing for the building materials. Is the Viking style.
Yeah, yeah, that one, like a Viking style and like a Tudor style, sort of, you know, thatch and wood logs and all of like the cement. That would be really cool too, because we'll add in lots more styles over time. All right, so where should I build? I said I was gonna speed run, but honestly, like I sort of just want to chill out and play the game. I've spent so long making this game. I don't usually get to just play it properly. So it's actually, I'm sort of getting a bit carried away just playing it and running around and having fun. So I might just do that. I'll bounce back and forth between speedrunning and playing it normally. Because it is really fun for me to play this game, seeing as I don't usually get to play it. What game engine? We use Unity. Unity, but we do use an old version of Unity. So a lot of like the lighting and everything that looks nice in this game has taken like a lot of wizardry to get it to look nice, because we're using a very old game engine that is hard to sort of use. Like a lot of the graphics are very sort of outdated, so we've had to do a lot of trickery and things. So at some point we're going to have to update the game engine of Len'S Island, and then it will sort of, you know, if you think Len'S Island looks pretty now, it's going to look amazing quite soon. Like it's going to look absolutely amazing, because we'll have a whole lot of new technology available to us once we update the game engine.
Yeah, we've been using version 2018.4.27 F1. I know it because I've been fighting battles with it, and it's render pipeline.
Yeah. People ask us like, like, what's it like using the universal render pipeline or the HD render pipeline? I'm like, oh, we're using the old inbuilt standard render pipeline. There is no, like, it's nothing special. Everything we're doing is very rudimentary version of Unity, and it's hard to use. But we really like Unity as a game engine. It just, unfortunately, this project started a long time ago, and it's been a bit too difficult to upgrade whilst we're in the middle of developing it. So I've had to sort of take a back seat. Alright, we have a workbench. And alright, what do I need for a refinery? Because I want to get that going straight away. So how much coal do I need? 4 coal. Alright, I'm going to go back down the cave and try to get some coal. Because I just want to get that refinery going straight away. Because then I can get some iron shards starting to sort of pump out. And that's what I'd suggest too. If you're playing the game for the first time, just try to get a refinery as quickly as possible. Because otherwise you'll just sort of be like lagging behind on the iron throughout the whole game. And then farms as well. I probably should have planted a farm by now.
Yeah, I was going to say farms and refinery.
Yeah. We haven't updated to a new version of Unity just because it's like a monumental task to do that. Like every shader and material throughout the game needs to be somewhat reworked. So it's a really big effort. So we've just been trying to focus on finishing the game and releasing it, and then we can worry about making it better throughout early access. And then part of making it better will be upgrading the engine. Alright, I just need coal. That's all I need. Oh yes, here we go. Alright, you don't have to put up with the dark dungeons for too long. We found coal, and then we'll be back. But yeah, if you just started, if you just joined us or anything, I'm Julian. I'm the lead developer of Len'S Island. We're playing through the game and answering your questions. I also have on a call with me Lars, who worked on all the audio and sound effects, and Ivan. I always have to try not to call you Cheddar. So Ivan's name in Discord is Cheddar, and I always have to like refrain from calling him Cheddar every time I talk about Ivan. And Ivan has done a lot with the graphics programming. He's also helped develop the quest system, which is not yet released, but we'll be adding questing into the game soon. And a whole bunch of like the visual stuff as well, like shaders and optimization. So yeah, you can ask us your questions. We will be here to play the game, have a chat, and yeah, Len'S Island is launched. If I look a little bit like like monotone or tired, that's because it's 4:20 a.m. right now, and I went to bed at 6 a.m. this morning or yesterday morning, and woke up at 8 a.m. and then now it's 4 a.m. the next day. So I've had no sleep in the past sort of 48 hours. So it's a bit rough, but you got to do what you got to do. All right, just need some wood, and then I can make a refinery. Can I hit both trees? Yes, I can.
Yeah, keep in mind you're gonna need some extra wood for burning stuff.
Oh yeah, because I'm using all my coal to make it, of course. Yeah, so the coal spawns randomly, so there's different sort of like resource nodes throughout the world. Above ground it's just a regular stone, but sometimes if you get lucky, sometimes if you get lucky you can find bits of coal and iron shards like embedded in the stone as a little bonus. But then in the caves you sort of get dedicated coal and stone and iron shard nodes. And that's where you can get like your coal and iron shards from. You don't get too many iron shards though, like just looking for iron nodes isn't really a productive way to get iron. The best way to get iron is to refine stone in a refinery, and then you'll sort of like sift out all the iron through the stone and then get like a lot more iron shards.
You missed a piece of log there on top of that stone. That makes me crazy.
Oh yeah, I did too. So usually I'm the one watching streamers play the game and playing like, oh, you missed that thing, I'm getting all angry at them, and now I'm that person. I'm gonna disappoint everybody, I'm sorry. Alright.
Arnodius is asking, how did you make that water system? It looks absolutely beautiful. Tell them about how much time you put into configuring the water.
Yeah, so the water was, yeah, I had a vision for the water, and Ivan helped make that vision happen, but we were back and forth for like months making the water look like how it does in Len'S Island. We really spent a really long time making it look the way it does, and then making it look good in all the different times of day as well. So yeah, it was we spent way too much development time working on the water, I can tell you that. Alright.
Yeah, and I think like making the water was not even really like that much time, but you know, getting the colors and everything like really spot on, that I remember you spending days and days on this.
Yeah, it was a lot of time tweaking values and yeah, mucking around with like curves to change the look of the water throughout the day and night cycle. It took a lot of time and care. Alright, just keep loading that up. I just need enough iron to get some basic, because I want an iron axe just so I can chop wood a little bit easier. And then I'll get an iron weapon, like a spear. And then I'll need some more coal for a torch, because I might already have enough. I think it's only 5 coal for a torch. Will there be a town map? Yeah, so we would love to include maps in a future update. Not just for the town, for the island, and then for the dungeons too. So that's the plan. We'll add maps at some point. Not sure when it'll be, but because like the worlds will continue to expand within Len'S Island. The dungeons will get bigger. There'll be more islands that you can live on and do things. So the necessity, like the need for a map, will continue to grow. So we'll have to sort of add them at some point, because people get lost as it is.
Hey Lars, Tim's asking how many trees were chopped in real life to record the audio.
No comment.
No comment. Yeah, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say 0 trees were chopped down to make the trees fall down. So it's a combination of pre-existing sounds of trees falling. So it was
it's
a
an environmental
production.
Friendly game.
Yes.
No trees were harmed. Yeah, during the production
No trees
of
were
Len'S
harmed.
Island. Yeah, and luckily trees grow back in the game, so you don't have to worry about committing tree genocide over the island. It's okay, they will all grow back. I can't say that will happen in real life though, just within Len'S Island. They will all grow back, so you don't have to worry about sort of like, you know, cultivating the whole land and then just being barren. Oh, the music's slightly too loud. I'll turn it down a little bit. Although I do like hearing it. You know, it is nice music.
I think you should turn it all the way up. Actually.
Yeah. Will be a faster way to run or roll. Dude, I'm not sure. Like there is an item in the game, which is like an item that you unlock very late in the game that can actually make you run faster. So there are things that you can do to modify your movement speed, and like as you unlock more shields, all the shields affect your movement speed. Like they can sort of make you slower and all that. And then you can get items that make you slightly quicker and actually run quicker. So we'll continue to add more and more of that sort of thing as the game progresses. Ways you can actually modify the speed of your character through items and equipment. So I guess like there already is some of that stuff in the game. We've thought about adding other modes of transport and things. Though it's sort of far down the list, to be honest, of like what we're sort of currently working on. Oh, the perfect amount of iron too. That is amazing. Okay. Let's make some iron tools. I like the battle axe. Honestly, I feel like the battle axe is really underappreciated. I don't see enough people using the battle axe. I think it's probably the best iron weapon in my opinion. Also, I could afford everything. Okay, we have an iron axe, we have an iron battle axe, we have a torch, and a watering can. So, let's make a farm. What do I need? I need a bit of everything. I'll chop down this tree. And yes, I'm using a battle axe to chop down a tree. It's probably about the same speed, to be honest, this iron battle axe. But there's different battle axes in the game, and some of them will definitely be like viable tree chopping options. So it's just something to remember is when you're actually, I'll quickly show you all the items in Len'S Island have efficiencies versus different, so you can see these little icons, and that actually stands for like what damage they do to different sort of items. So the top one is like piking, spear damage, then it's slashing, and then it's bludgeoning, and then pickaxe, and then like all different weapons. You know, the scythe here has harvesting damage instead. So there's a whole different types of damage types, and like battle axes will do like a good amount of chopping damage, so you can use them to chop down trees. And then you get like bludgeoning weapons like hammers that actually do a good amount of like mining damage, so you can actually mine stones with some of your like combat hammers. I'll be adding tooltips for all of those little icons soon as well, so it'll be a bit easier to like look at them and understand what they are. Okay, get my farms.
Sean Warrant is asking, will we get game clock in future plus option to change how long day cycle is?
I would say no. I feel like the day and night cycle is one of those things that's sort of like fundamental to the game. It's like, you know, the foundation of the game. If you start to change the foundations of a game like that and how fast time progresses, it can really throw everything else out of whack. So then suddenly like different types of crops and all sorts of other parts of the game would become like really unbalanced. But you know, who knows? We'll see. Honestly, I don't like to say like hard no's to any sort of features because like who knows? Like, well, there's a lot that can be possible like in the future of Len'S Island. But there's some things that we'll definitely like try and steer away from for sure. Alright, get some farms going.
And Niha is asking, do you plan on Switch port in 2022? If I recall it right, we didn't really make it on the Kickstarter. We didn't hit the target for a Switch, right? But is it something you're still looking at?
Yeah, so yeah, we didn't hit our target for Switch, but we absolutely want to launch for Switch. I'm not sure when that will be, but Switch and console are like on our priority list to launch, because like I personally think this would be a really, really awesome game to play on the Switch. But like what we're trying to focus on right now is just making sure that we have a really good game on PC and Mac, like through Steam. And then once we're like really confident with the game that we're making and like, you know, the updates we're putting out and the content that's being released, then we can start looking at porting over to the other platforms. But the plan absolutely is to launch on Switch and or Steam Deck. Like just, I guess Switch, I sort of use that as like portable handheld, you know, console. Whether that's Steam Deck or Switch, I don't know. I do like the Switch a lot though. As well as console. There's like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation. I need to water these crops, that's right. I'll go to bed soon, so, well, in the game, not in real life, so so you can all see a bit easier.
You should go to bed in real
one.
life too soon, Julian.
I really should go to bed in real life. The sun's about to come up in real life, and I have not been to sleep yet for almost 2 days. Yeah.
Unknown's asking, Len'S feet must be sore from walking barefooted all over the place. Mate, think about those athletes' feet if you would be going to the dungeon on shoes, on leather shoes. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe we need to add in some lore about the Len'S feet.
Yeah, I sort of, I think someone mentioned the other day, and then I had like this idea that we could make like the final boss of the game drop like a pair of shoes when you kill it, except you can't actually wear the shoes. They're just another weapon, and like you put the shoes on your hands and you just like punch enemies with your shoes, and we just like, it's just a meme. We just sort of prank everybody. Like they think, oh, finally, like we get some shoes, but then you just end up like not even using them, and it's impossible. It's not co-op, so it's just a single player experience at the moment, though we would love to make it multiplayer in the future. So sort of pending the success throughout early access, we'll be able to make that happen and make it sort of make it multiplayer.
Oh, we have someone who found the Marlene already. That's cool.
Where to put the balcony? I guess here, because then I can look over the water. Wait.
So
Martin,
Julian, what's the next
199p?
Oh.
Yeah, go on, Lars. Go on.
I was gonna ask, what's the next building pieces in the pipeline?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. There's a few building pieces in the pipeline. One of them isn't like definitely not like it's just sort of like I know it's not like a serious building piece, but I guess all the building pieces are for, you know, decorational purposes. But I want to add a ceiling, just like a ceiling type that's like a frame, and then it has like it's essentially a trampoline, and then you can actually use that to like jump around your home and jump up and down levels, and it's literally just a trampoline piece that's a ceiling. I don't know why. I would really love to add that, and if Len could do flips on a trampoline, like that would be amazing. But I can imagine you could just do a lot of like fun base design things with a trampoline. But then also just like tons more like variations, you know, different kinds of windows and walls and like pillars and archways, sort of like elaborating on what we already have, adding different versions of them. I would love to add. And more roofs, more types of roofs as well. And lots more decoration items.
Exciting. Ivan, you were saying something? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Martin 199b, I think. Is English the only language of Len'S Island, or comes more languages in the future?
Oh yeah, so for launch it's just English, and we actually have a Steam, on the Steam forums I have like a post, so you can if you want to request a language, just write down a language on that post on the Steam forums, because we'll be adding in localization options over the next few months and everything. So I can't tell you when like more languages will be added, but that's again on our priority list. Our priority list sort of goes like, you know, bug fixing, making the game really nice and stable, and adding in little bits of content first. And then after that, it's like accessibility options, controller support, optimization, and then also accessibility, and that's as far as like language is concerned. But then also like colorblind modes and like really in-depth controller mapping and like key mapping and all sorts of stuff that it just improves like the accessibility of the game. So, you know, whether you have any sort of like impairments, like visual or physical or anything like that, you're able to, you know, play Len'S Island somehow. And then as well for different languages, you know, you'll be able to sort of play Len'S Island. But the languages will sort of start like drip feeding out throughout early access. So we'll sort of slowly add more and more languages as we go.
Yeah, I can personally support the colorblind mode, even though I haven't had any issues with this game. But personally, I'm red-green and yellow-green colorblind. So there's a lot of games that is so frustrating to play.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually one of the.
Red Dead.
Oh, is that because it's all in like the desert? Like, what makes that hard?
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, it was the map. They had like 4 different colorblind modes, but they were matching like brown with red and green. It was like impossible for me to read the maps basically.
Right. Yeah, it's difficult. I think. Well, I'm glad you've had a good time playing it because yeah, one of the first bits of comments that I actually got from the demo was someone had I forget the type of color blindness. From memory, it was something to do with red or yellow. And they said they could pretty easily identify everything, and it looked pretty good. And it was to do with like what the specific shades of green that were used for the grass and the dirt and everything. It was like it worked well for their color blindness, and I thought, oh, that's good. But yeah, like I would absolutely want to add in, you know, like, cause that's the idea behind Len'S Island, and you know, because we're such a small team, we're just sort of focusing on making like a great game first, and once we're really confident in this game, then we can start trying to make this game accessible to as many people as possible, and trying to expand upon that, and like, you know, all that includes like a lot of different features. But step 1 is making the game, step 2 is adding in all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
what advice would you give to someone who is new to Unity and game development? My advice would be try stuff out. Just, you know, play around, do as much as you can, test it, build some games, you know, like just, yeah, learn by doing, you know?
Yeah, I would totally agree. Yeah, if you did game development or Unity or art or anything like that, yeah, just start doing it. But specifically game development, I would say like start making games, like make Pong and then remake, you know, Mario, and then just sort of like start sort of stepping up slowly in sort of complexity, but actually try and make games. Like even if you just care about game art or if you just care about programming, like make an actual game from start to finish and make all of it. Like if you're a programmer and you go, oh, I don't have a creative bone in my body and I suck at art, that's fine, you know, but like, you know, download Photoshop, download a free pixel creation program, a pixel art making program, or whatever, or download art assets from the Unity store or something, and just like figure it out, like make it work, and build a game from start to finish, because that's how you can really become better at game design, is like knowing the entire pipeline, and then just like consistently setting like bigger and bigger goals, because, you know, like year 1 you'll make Pong, and then you make Mario, and you make like these sort of like little like prototypes for games, but then by the time you're doing that for 3 years, like you're starting to make prototypes of Len'S Island, you're starting to make prototypes of bigger games, and then that's how those bigger projects can naturally form into games like Len'S Island, because that's sort of the pathway that I went down. But I would say, oh, of course I lose blackjack. I would say make actual like functioning projects. Don't just make art, don't just program. Like make actual working games, because it will be so much more rewarding, and you will learn a lot more as well.
Yeah, like you said, like make Pong and then add some cool UI to it, and then make the moving pieces do crazy movements and this kind of things, you know, like be creative with that and build on that. So you're gonna be learning a lot more, and you're gonna see the results pretty quickly, you know. So that's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's really beneficial.
Is camera rotation a planned future?
Oh no, well, not. Most likely not within gameplay camera rotation. If you didn't know, there is like the edit mode and screenshot mode and everything. So, you know, you can take pretty looking screenshots of the game. If I put down the depth of field, go here, you can take a nice little, add in some image effects. And there you go. Take the screenshot. Beautiful. That was actually my first screenshot I've ever taken on Steam of Len'S Island. And you're all here to witness that. That's beautiful.
Oh, the depth of field is beautiful, isn't it?
So yeah, like there's all those modes that you can use while building and taking screenshots. But we're not sure, like it is like a fixed camera game, and that's the way that's meant to be played, and that's the way it was made. Yes, I'm winning blackjack. So I'm open to potentially pivoting the camera, though I'm not. Yeah, like it's not the way that Len'S Island was made, and there's certain advantages that you get as a player having a fixed camera. Although you may not think so, Len'S Island is a much better game because it's a fixed camera angle game. to do with a lot of things, like to do with like how combat
I mean, it's
works,
like,
how level design
for
works,
example,
everything.
yeah, exactly. It's just it's the style, you know. Like, so for example, Diablo, you don't have a rotating camera, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, and you sort of accept that that's Diablo. Like when you're playing it, you're like, yeah, like you can't rotate the camera in Diablo. That's Diablo. And like, you know, this is Len'S Island. This is sort of how it works. But saying that though, like we're sort of open to everything. Like this is a community-driven game. The community that is the other people playing this game. So I'm always open to ideas. We're always open to, you know, criticism and everything. Like we're making this game for all of you people to play it. So if you have, if every single, if the majority all, you know, want something, then we'll be, you know, pretty strongly inclined to add that thing into the game. If it's definitely like a feature worth adding, if it's definitely something that will make the game better, then absolutely. Like I'm happy to be proven wrong by players. Like if I think, you know, if I'm like, oh, I'm the developer and I know better, like I'm happy to get proven wrong by all of you, and you go, no, Julian, you know, you don't know better. We all want this, and like, you know, sweet, that's fine. We'll add that instead. Because I'm not making this game just to please myself, you know, I'm making it for all of you to play. So if all of you really want something, we will, you know, try our best to make it happen. It will need to stay within the framework of Len'S Island. You know, this is a top-down, you know, action-adventure game, so there are certain like limitations what we can do. Though, yeah, you more or less like the players will be able to dictate where Len'S Island ends up. There's some marigold.
Yeah, Alexei Sergeyevich is asking why it's called Len'S Island. I would say watch the documentary that's been released, made by Daniel.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, if you didn't know that already, we actually made a documentary on this channel about the creation of Len'S Island. Because as a lot of indie games work, you know, it's not like it's not a smooth ride. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs, and there was a lot of ups and downs throughout making Len'S Island. Yeah, so it affected all of us in pretty crazy ways, and it was a long, hard journey to make this game. And yeah, so Daniel, who's an artist who's made all the splash images for the game, he made all the resource icons and stuff too. He made a documentary about all of us and interviewed all of us and pieced it all together. So he did an amazing job making that documentary. So it's on the channel. You can watch it right now. I'd highly suggest watching it if you haven't already. I'm really proud of what he put together, and it's a really just an awesome thing for us developers to have personally to look back on as well. But I think it really humanizes game development, because at the end of the day, like, Len'S Island isn't this product made by a faceless company. Like, it's made by real people with real emotions, you know? We are the developers of Len'S Island, and we have lives, and we have, you know, mental health, and we have physical health, and we have all of these things that we need to manage while making this game. And it's very easy to forget that when you're the one on the other side of that wall, just simply consuming the game. So it was really like special for us to be able to tell that story in a more detailed way through the documentary, and sort of like, you know, explain it to everybody. By the way, I have no idea what the Steam statistics or anything are for like sales or anything with the game at the moment. I've just been streaming for the past, I don't know how long, an hour or something maybe. So yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know how the game's going. Hopefully it's going good. The last time I looked, it was number 4 on the top trending games, which is pretty awesome. And I think it was around 1,000 people playing.
It's the best game on Steam.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, number 1.
Kim's asking, oh, this is a good one. Is WASD movement coming to the final game? It's in there. Maybe you can show them. Drew.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, when you're creating the character, you can actually pick between the control schemes. But if you miss that, you can just go to your controls and accessibility panel, and then there's WASD. So now you can see all the controls change when I choose these 2 different modes. And then like right now, I'm using WASD to control Len. So look, no hand on the mouse, WASD only. So then Len will move around, you know, with the normal WASD controls, and then I can like still like click in any direction using the mouse. So it's all WASD movement. And then so all the keys like shift down 1. So then I use shift for rolling. I personally just like the mouse scheme, And the game was sort of made to cater to the mouse-based input. But a lot of people prefer WASD, so that's totally fine. So we've included that as well. But it's up to you. Like people prefer either. I would suggest give the mouse input scheme a go though. If you're playing Len'S Island for the first time, try the mouse. Like give it a good shot for like an hour, and then if you really don't like it, that's completely fine. Go to WASD. But what we've found with like testers and other people playing the game is a lot of people sort of like underestimate how much they like the mouse-based input, and when they use the mouse for a little while, they get used to it and they really like it. So. Programming being mentally tasking, how did you handle the stress? Yeah, well, like it's an ongoing thing handling the stress, but like honestly, like not very well. It sort of destroyed my heart and my body making Len'S Island. It's been a rough journey. I won't go into too much now, but like watch the documentary and you'll probably get a bit more of the story. Yeah, but it's hard. It's really hard. It's and like my story is not that much different from a lot of other people as well. Like it's game developers, and like not even just game developers, but like creatives and you know, people starting up businesses, like entrepreneurs, like go through this. Like this is what life is like. And you're sort of combining, like game design is sort of unique, where you're combining entrepreneurialism and setting up a business and sort of taking very big risks, and then you're combining that with like art, with creativity. And those are two very like taxing fields. Like they're very mentally draining. So when you combine both of them together, things can become unsustainable very quickly. But the goal with Len'S Island though is to, you know, if this game is, you know, nice and successful and makes a bit of money, it means for starters, I'll be able to have a wage again, which will be nice, and you know, the people making Len'S Island actually get to earn a little bit of money. But then we get to build a game studio and like not have so much stress, and like all the problems that we faced throughout developing Len'S Island, we can start to eliminate those problems and build like a proper functioning game design studio. Because like that's the goal. Like that's what we're trying to do here, is build something. Wow. So since I've started streaming, it's become bright outside. So now I can open my blinds and get some more light. That's amazing. So the sun, it's almost 5 a.m. So the sun's gonna rise as I'm streaming. That's awesome.
Talking about taking care of your health, question from Lucia Fantine: do you eat in the game? Like, do you have food needs or energy level?
Yeah. So you have food. So you may have noticed my nice little farm here. So there are, I guess, two different categories of food within Len'S Island. There's, if you look at the inventory, there's food that you can actually eat, and then there's like your more farming materials. So there's like raw materials that you use to sell to traders or to craft. So, you know, there's wheat, lavender, marigolds, roses, and then there's other food items. And you need these to sustain your hunger bar, which I am not doing currently. Because you don't die from hunger in the game. While you're home building in Len'S Island, there's no threat. Like you may have noticed while I've been building this home so far, I've sort of been switched off from everything else. And that's something that's like really important with Len'S Island that we sort of made on purpose, is when you're building your home, catering to your farms, you won't die from hunger. There's no enemies trying to attack you. There's no zombies trying to, like, you know, tear down your house. You can just focus on this and take your time. And then when you're down in the caves, that's when you'll really need to eat food to keep up your health, because you can see now I actually have half health because my hunger is all the way down. So then if I start to eat a little bit, I can get some health back, and then if my hunger is above 50%, I'll start passively healing over time. So I don't have to eat, though. Like this, the second, you know, my health becomes a priority, which is in the dungeons, I start to, you know, need to eat more and more. Look, I don't mind this house.
And about talking about food. Yeah,
that's not too bad. Nice. I need some clay.
Martin 199B is asking, can you cook and hurt animals in Len'S Island?
No, there's actually like no meat in Len'S Island or anything. So we may, I'd love to add fishing into the game at some point. But I don't like the idea of like coming to an island and just like slaughtering all the animals, and like hunting. It's sort of like, you know, it's really nice to just live like at peace with the island and sort of make the island better and not worse. And also like I feel like hunting's a bit overdone in the survival genre. Like every single survival game and open world adventure game has like a bow, and then you craft your bow, and then you shoot a deer and you get meat and you keep living. So we've tried to do things a bit differently. And that's why like
game's not finished until you can make cheese.
So there will be other types of foods that you can make instead of hunting. You'll be able to craft all sorts of stuff, and we're going to make that more and more in depth over time. This is my favorite song that's playing right now in the game, Discovery. Is this Discovery? Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it up. Yeah, I don't know what like Discovery. The first time I heard Discovery from the soundtrack, it was like hands down my favorite song, and ever since then, it's like I don't know, it's just my jam. It just feels so like motivational. I don't know, like, and so like worldly, this song. Like it just makes me feel like I'm like standing on a cliff looking out to a vista, like thinking about all the amazing things I'm going to do in my life. Hopefully it makes all of you the same way. I don't know, maybe it just affects me more than other people.
I'll just make 11 more songs which are just the same style as Discovery, I guess.
I would love that.
No, Raptor was also a fan of that song.
Yeah, oh really? Oh cool. Yeah. Good taste in music.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've just joined, you're talking
about art.
Yeah? Yeah. Is there more questions?
Oh yeah. Ichomo is asking, how do you guys balance art and mechanics? How do you choose which one to prioritize? That's a tough one.
Yeah, and that's like a thing in game design, right? Is like form over function or function over form. But realistically, you want to have like a perfect happy medium. So even like this refinery, for example, something I've just noticed. Huh, interesting. I just noticed a bug. That's all right. So I can't tell. Sorry, being the developer of this game, I can't help myself. When I find a bug, I'm just gonna look into it really quickly. I'm gonna see if it resets. But when you walk inside buildings, the camera like zooms in a little bit. I just noticed it wasn't zooming in. It'll be a really, really easy thing to fix. I just want to see if it actually if it resets. Yeah, okay. So now it's zooming in. That's alright. But for example, going back to like the UI thing, and like art versus form versus function. Like even this refinery UI, like I spent a lot of time trying to make this look pretty and like look aesthetically pleasing and feel very tactile and just feel good to use. But that's not just making it look pretty. Like making that menu feel good to use and look good isn't just about like colorful icons and pretty particle effects. It's about the function of it. Like, is it easy to use? Because if something makes you frustrated and is difficult to sort of understand, it won't look as pretty because of that. It's sort of like skewing your judgment. So it's about like the form of like what you're doing and like making systems like really simple to understand and simple to use and like easily identifiable. And then once you sort of have that system, then you can focus on like prettying it up and making it look really cool. But usually like the first step for me when making UI is like I'll establish the look and feel that I want, and then once I've established like the general like, oh, I want it to sort of look like this and feel like this, I'll then make all the functionality and I'll map out like where buttons will go and how it will all sort of look, and then I'll make it look as pretty as I can once I've actually mapped out the function of it. But like the aesthetics and art should never like have to take a back seat just because something looks good. You should both of those should always be the priority, like evenly. Len'S Island is out. Yeah, so if anyone watching, Len'S Island is released now. So you are talking to Julian, me, the lead developer, and we have Ivan and Lars here, who are two other developers of Len'S Island working on the audio and music, and I'm working on all the graphics and shaders and optimization. So yeah, Len'S Island just released three hours ago. It launched on Steam. So it's 5 AM for me in Australia right now, so it's been a long night. And we're answering your questions. There are a few biomes in this actual island, by the way. So I'm in a birch biome sort of area now, and there's a deeper, darker sort of forest that leads into the cave, and then there's other sorts of areas that have some different like terrain and trees.
And Thrive Deep has asked, can you destroy walls you have put down in the building? I think that's an easy one you can show them.
Yeah. So there's an edit mode, and thank you for the donation, Joellen. That's very nice. But yeah, so there's edit mode. So I'm in edit mode right now. Hit F, and I can like zoom around and unselect anything, and then I can actually go through all the different levels of my home. So if I just want to delete this wall, I just click on it and just hit the recycle button, and it'll give me back all of the resources. So you never have to worry about sort of making mistakes when it comes to building in Len'S Island, because you can just recycle anything and just get back that resource, and then I can just build it again, and I'm not punished in any way. Oh, I can finish my roof now that I have some clay and wood. Oh, beautiful. I think it's a pretty good looking home, if you ask me. I think it's nice. I'll have to go to bed. Reset the day cycle. I think it's time to go back into the caves, because now I have a torch and I have a battle axe too. Oh, I'm gonna need some blueberries. So I won't really need my axe in the cave, so I'll take that out for now. Because I think I'm behind with my cave dwelling so far in this playthrough. I've been really taking my time. Originally I was going to do like a speed run, but now I'm just taking my time, because as I mentioned before, as a developer of the game, I never get to just like take my time and enjoy playing the game. So I'm really enjoying just being able to play this game right now. And yeah, it's only released on Steam, so you can. It should be the link in the stream. You can download it on Steam now for PC and Mac.
Oh, I love those misty mornings, you know. It looks so pretty.
Is that iron? Actually, I'm just going to see how far I can get through the caves with my battle axe. Oh, I should have. Oh no, I slept, so I don't. It doesn't really mind. It doesn't really matter if I die. Actually, I've already slept in a bed. Oh, I've got a battle axe, so I can't. I'll put on my torch when I'm running, so you can all see a little bit easier, and I have to take it away when I start fighting. So I'm using the battle axe here.
So for those asking about,
Yeah, what'd you say?
yeah, there are a few people asking about control support. So like Julian explained a bit earlier, this is something we will be working on, and they will be added. It's just not in yet for the release, but it's gonna be added. So
Yeah, control support's on the priority list, so we'll be adding that soon. So yeah, there are two different modes. There's mouse and WASD. So you can control Len in a couple different ways currently, and we'll continue to add more and add key mapping and all sorts. And yeah, we would love to release a game on console and like Nintendo Switch or Steam Deck as well. Yeah, I think this game will go really, really well on like portable consoles like Switch. And when I say well, I just mean like it would be really fun to play. It just sort of like, I feel like it's sort of a match made in heaven.
there is someone asking about where should I go to get some context. How can we give maybe some hints without spoiling?
Hints to... Oh, okay. Honestly, like the best way, like if you're talking about lore and like the context of Len'S Island and how all this, you know, the story behind the world and the game, it's one of those things where it's like we've kept it a bit ambiguous, because we'll continue to piece together that story as we release more of the game throughout early access. Though the best way to sort of get that context and stitch together that story is look for notes. So while you're playing through the game, just keep an eye out for little notes on the ground. I'll show you a note when I come by one soon. And also light brazier, but I haven't been using them, but braziers, you can light them and you can heal from them, by the way. So I'd really suggest using braziers when you're going through the caves. But there's little notes on the ground, and they sort of tell you bits and pieces about the story and what's happened in this world. So they're like the best way to sort of slowly construct what's happened in Len'S Island and, you know, what everything means. And we'll continue to sort of expand on that over time.
Yeah, once the quest system is implemented, that will also probably give some more hints.
Yeah. So we'll be adding in a whole questing system into the game soon as well, and that will be really fun. So you'll be able to talk to NPCs and do quests and all sorts. So you could say
There's a question for. Yeah.
I was about to say I'm just healing myself with the brazier now. So like braziers are good like little checkpoints if you want sort of like a safe point to like move back to. Light a brazier, and then you can go back to that any time to heal, and they stay permanently lit. You never have to worry about it sort of going out. It gets a little bit harder here too, by the way, so you'll see me take on some larger voids. I think I should be alright with this battle axe. That's pretty good damage. The trick is just like get in the middle of them and just be able to land a few crits. If you miss your crits, you're not going to do as much damage, and you'll sort of get punished for it. But if you can consistently hit the crits with the battle axe, you'll do really good. You can see it was pretty easy to clear out those enemies then. Just sort of about like taking my time, sort of like standing back and then like jumping in and getting the crit. Here's another thing too, basic for a little like sneak peek for everybody watching. I'll tell you how to get to this chest up here because it does have lightstone in it, which is like the most rare resource in the game. So the best way to get up there is you find this little stone. You probably need a torch, so you see if I don't know how to torch out, it's all pitch black. But you just stay on the stone, jump roll. So you just jump, hit Q or shift to roll, and then you can jump on these stones and get straight up here. And that's pretty much the easiest way to, like honestly, if you just want a quick and easy lightstone, this is one of the ways to get it. You do have to get through some enemies though. So like all those enemies I just killed, you'll still have to try and find a way around those enemies. And then with this lightstone, I can actually light my first keystone. So there's keystones all through Len'S Island, through the dungeons, and this is how you can warp back to the island. So they're checkpoints that you can use to just warp at any time. And once you light a keystone, it will stay lit forever. So you can like use that as a permanent point to just warp back for free. And the keystones are actually part of a greater puzzle as well. I won't tell you how it works yet, but yeah, they play an important role inside the dungeons. All of the keystones.
I have a question here from Tim, who asked, "What are the main instruments that make up the soundtrack?" So I can quickly answer that. It's basically mainly piano, guitar, strings, and then you have some variations of synths, other orchestral elements, and of course percussion as well. But we try to make it fairly organic in the sound, at least for the island part, and then it's a little bit more synthesized in the dungeons, more pads and more grungy kind of sounds, but try to make it as organic as possible.
Yeah, that's something like I've definitely noticed throughout all the music. Like every instrument, every sound serves a purpose. As with like when I hear all the sounds and tracks that Lars make. Above ground, it is more organic. There's a lot more strings, and it's a lot more sort of like orchestral and just like it feels very homely and smooth, which is like exactly the vibe we're trying to create. But then when you get into the dungeons, it introduces more percussion, more like sort of like instability in the music too, where there's not like these really nice like chords that carry on, and you get a bit more sort of like abrupt moments as well in the tracks and all of that. So I think it's like really cool when you hear music that sort of goes that level deeper to actually like sort of emulate what you're seeing and try to emulate that through the sounds and the patterns that you're hearing. So I personally think Lars did an amazing job at doing that, and it's something that like complements the game really, really well.
Yeah, thanks. It's I mean it's funny though because it's all about like trial and error basically. You just and saying that, I mean we have been working on the music for almost 2 years or 1.5 years now. So we had a lot of time to tweak everything in order to match the gameplay and the visuals. So I think that's probably a key aspect. So I'm not sure if it would be the same if we were launching at the time we were planning on launching the game originally.
Yeah, we've had a lot of time to work on this music, and it's not a very straightforward process, is it? It's like a lot of back and forth and a lot of tweaking, but like that's, in my opinion, what makes, you know, something great is taking the time to go through that process and really like elaborate on it. Because like sometimes things come together pretty effortlessly. Like some of the tracks I felt like you just sort of got perfect the first go, and then some of them we really spent a long time sort of going back and forth, and then, you know, they're both just as good as each other because of that. Like we just did what we needed to make that track perfect, you know. And then some cases Lars just nailed it on the first go, which is always, you know, nice. Especially nice for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm really happy that it works as well as it is working, in my opinion. And it's also funny because, I mean, like you said, I feel like almost all the songs were in the sketch stage pretty ready after like 3-4 months, and it was like a year of finalizing those sketches into completed songs. So
could add some pot plants out here.
Enter programming. Why doesn't Len like to wear shoes? Company policy, Flow Studio, nobody wears shoes. We're free people.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
why no shoes?
It's always been a little bit of a joke, but it's a quirk. That is Len. Len does not like to wear shoes, and it's a bit of a quirk with the character. I'm trying to collect all the iron weapons, so I can, because there's a set bonus. So like if you haven't sort of seen the weapons yet in the game, there's a lot of weapons in Len'S Island. So there's 68. I've collected 8 so far, and we'll continue to expand this a lot over time. And if you collect every single item in a set, you actually get a set bonus, and you're able to craft like the epic version, you know, the epic weapon that's tied to that set. And they're all differently. They're all sort of different items. Sometimes they're axes, sometimes they're swords, sometimes they're pickaxes. So I'm trying to get to the iron set bonus now. So I'm just gonna make 3 more weapons, and all I need is fibers, because I like I said earlier, one of my favorite things to do in Len'S Island is to get a refinery up nice and quick. And because I did that, like I've got 100 iron shards and I've got tons of iron, which means I'm able to sort of get this iron weapon set out really quickly and sort of craft them all quite quickly. And I'd also be able to update my workbench really quickly as well, because there's different workbench like levels to upgrade. So there's 3 different levels, and then they all unlock different items and different sort of blueprints to build with as well as you progress throughout those levels.
Zuko89 is asking, how do we water crops? You can use the watering can and you press W to.
Yeah, I'll show you right now
crops.
actually. I might sleep before I water it, so it's a bit brighter. But yeah, oh, my crops are ready as well. That's perfect. So yeah, I should actually I'm gonna make a scythe first and then collect the crops of a scythe. Grab you, select you, and I've got my big scythe. And then instead of like clicking on all the crops now, I can just go like this, and then select harvest them all instantly. The only thing with the scythe is you might accidentally hit some other crops you don't want to actually harvest. Cool. So then I'll plant some blueberries, because I need to get a food supply. That's like step 1 in Len'S Island, is getting a food supply going. So for me right now it's blueberries. And then when I want to water these, go to my watering can, hit W, and then I can just water them. It's different if you're on a WASD. The W slot is Q. because it shifts all the abilities down one. I should build a well as well, but I'm just going out to the ocean currently for all my water. Oh wow, thank you, Dwalin, for the $25 donation. That's amazing. That's much appreciated. So we're a bit new to streaming, so I don't really know how to react to to donations, but that is really, really cool. It's much appreciated. It's yeah, much appreciated.
Will there be more islands? Yeah, we kind of spoke about this a bit earlier. There are plans to expand the world of Len'S Island. So, you know, step by step, everything will be growing and more content will be added.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to in this game. A lot more content, a lot more islands, a lot more building pieces, a lot more of just everything. The dungeons get bigger. There's a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to. What do I need? I need my axe. I'm just trying to craft my set bonus currently. I'm trying to unlock. I think I just need the shield, and then I can finally get my iron set bonus.
Sneko Games is asking, can you craft a torch? Yes, you can, and
Yes.
you should probably earliest so you can go into the dungeons.
Yeah. So this like the first, I guess, like step on Len'S Island is craft a weapon. I would suggest maybe a sword or a battle axe to begin with, or a spear. The spears are pretty cool too. Like the hammers are a bit harder to use. That's all. But if you like the hammer, then absolutely use a hammer. Then you'll need a torch and a watering can. Once you have a torch and a watering can, you can start making crops and farming, and then you can start sort of diving into the dungeons as well with a torch and a weapon. How many people on the dev team? So the dev team is essentially 6 people, and then we have like 2 full-time developers. So there's myself and Martin, and we're the ones that are like here working on the game all day. And then right now in this call we have with Lars and Ivan. So Lars has made all the music and the sound effects and worked on all the audio for the game. And then Ivan's done a lot of the shaders and the graphics programming. So he made the amazing water shader and a lot of the other sort of shaders in the game, and a lot of the optimization stuff too. And then we have Daniel, who's helped making the splash art and some icons. So we have like a lot of helping hands to make, you know, Len'S Island wouldn't be as amazing as it is without everybody. But it is just made by 2 people essentially. There's 2 full-time developers that work on the game, and then we have, you know, some amazing artists and creative, you know, geniuses to make all the stuff that we suck at.
Yeah, exactly. 2 people who made this incredible game, which I am personally very impressed about. It's really crazy.
I really like this song too. What's the name of this song? I thought it would come to me. It hasn't though. I forget the name of the song. I really like it. If I built a gramophone, I'd be able to tell.
Isn't this Discovery as well?
Oh yeah, of course it is. That's why I like it. It's just a different part of Discovery. Yeah.
I need to make more music.
Future
like
Dragon
Discovery,
453. Is there a good way to get a lot of salvaged metal? If you ask me, go search for barrels or you can buy them. But I don't know if there is like the best way to get them.
Yeah, I would say the best way is probably the dungeon, like, because you can do loops around the island because some barrels wash up on the island. But typically just dive into the dungeon if you want a lot of salvaged metal. Go to the dungeon, and then if you can go a bit further into the dungeon, where into the next area, there's a lot of barrels, and you can farm like a lot of salvaged metal pretty quickly. Alright, that's my last iron weapon. Oh, and I can already... Oh no, I can't. Oh, that's right, it requires so much iron. 200 iron shards. But that's a preview for everybody watching. That's a preview of what the iron set bonus is. It is a gigantic axe, and it's a lot of fun to use. And it does really good damage. Like, you would think... a lot of people like assume that the iron set is just like the worst set of items in the game. But actually every item in Len'S Island has its use. It has its, you know, good things and bad things. And the iron mega axe, I guess you could call it, is like among one of the best weapons in the game. So there's like, you know, 70 different weapons in Len'S Island, and you can sort of like use all of them in different ways. we try to make a lot of the weapons just different and sort of cater to different play styles. They're not necessarily all just like a tier list of like bad weapons to good weapons. I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, I haven't even gone to the town. I've just been too busy building a house at the moment, and just sort of like living the simple life. I haven't really been trying to get to the town and do all the other stuff. I am getting pretty tired though. So it's 5:16 currently, and yeah, I'm very tired. But I think what I'll do is I'll show you a secret island to the west of the west of the main island, and we'll fight some stuff, get a bit of loot, and then I'll probably start to wind down and end the stream somewhat soon. But if you are just joining us, Len'S Island is out. You can buy it now. It's a very, very big moment for us developers, and yeah, now I have to concentrate and take on these guys. Ooh, roll out of the way. Here's a tip actually, because no one will actually know this. Is these enemies that I'm fighting now are a lot more susceptible to spear damage and bludgeoning damage. So if you want to fight them a bit easier, use a spear or a hammer.
Yeah, also the range helps a lot. I really like using spears because they have a good range, and they also often have a really good knockback.
Yeah, and like the range is like a really big thing, because like Len'S Island plays a lot on like movement and positioning. The spear sort of makes up for any like mistakes that you make, because you just sort of have like this padding and just sort of poke enemies from a distance. Oh man, I'm actually doing a lot of damage to me.
Exactly, and I make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, the thing that spears are a little bit bad at is like crowd control. It's like dealing with large amounts of enemies. Some of them have swipe attacks like this one, but they on average do low amounts of damage. So like you're not really going to do like a bunch of damage to a bunch of enemies. You're sort of just going to like kill singular enemies one at a time really well. And then when you want to deal with like lots of enemies, that's when I'd suggest taking out like a hammer or a battle axe. This is a really good island.
Oh, and Tresla is asking, will the trees regrow? Yes, they will regrow, absolutely, after a few days.
Yeah, the trees, the rocks, the clay, all the resources, they'll all regrow. But yeah, if you want, talking about resources, this is a great island to get limestone and clay. So I'm sort of on like the northwest side of the island, like the main island right now. So if you find this little like rocky outcrop in the water, follow that up. But as I would suggest, take a spear. Take a spear with you, and you'll be able to sort of handle those enemies pretty easily. And just roll, like sort of poke, land your crits. Like try and like, get good at the timing to get the crits, and then just sort of roll. Do a couple pokes, roll again, do a couple pokes, and they'll be pretty easy to take down if you sort of follow that strategy.
By the way, there is someone asking, how does the healing work? Maybe it's also interesting if you show them like how you can drag the fruits from the inventory into the hotbar.
Yeah, for sure. I will harvest my marigolds first though. So you may notice when crops are like perfectly ready to harvest, they actually sparkle, and they don't sparkle forever. So if you see crops sparkling, like harvest them quickly, because they'll only stay sparkling for like around a day, and then they will sort of go to like a more mature version of that crop, and you'll actually get slightly less yield from the crop. Cool. But yeah, so if I want to now heal myself, I can just go into my inventory, and there's all these food items. So then, like the farming items, like the flowers, they can't sort of be equipped or anything. They're just more of a resource. But then all the food items, you can actually just click them and drag them straight from your inventory. So I can just equip my grapes, and then I can hit that key on my keyboard, and that heals a certain amount of health and hunger. So all these food items have different sort of attributes. So the vine plants, the passion fruit and the grapes, are pretty much the best plants for combat, like the best food items for combat. They'll give you a lot of health. So if you're wanting to like dive into the caves and you really like the combat side of the game, I would suggest starting to grow lattice farms. So actually I'll have to unlock the lattice farm first from the workbench. I'll have to upgrade the workbench a level, but when you get to level 2 workbench, you can unlock lattice farms, and that's when you can start planting grapes and passion fruit. and they will be really, really good to sort of fuel your ventures into the caves. Besides that, like the watermelons and the other items are good food items, but they will replenish your hunger a lot more than they will the HP. So they're really good items just to have when you're just running around the island trying to keep your health like consistently up, because you will passively heal if you have your hunger bar up. But yeah, I'll be clocking off soon. I'm really, really tired. I can sort of feel myself drifting away at the moment. But because yeah, we just launched Len'S Island. It's been a monumental journey to get here, and it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty special, like being able to stream now and share it with all of you too. Because the journey of Len'S Island started on YouTube. You know, that's where all of this started, and we've been showing the whole development progress throughout time on YouTube. So it's really cool for me to be able to sort of do this live stream now and show you all, you know, the finished game of, well, you know, the finished early access release of Len'S Island, because, you know, this is all possible because of all of you purchasing the game, all of you watching the dev diaries and being a part of this community. Like none of this would have happened at all without YouTube and the amazing community behind Len'S Island. So it's really, really cool to share this moment with all of you. You know, the game only just launched a few hours ago. So yeah, we have a lot of bugs to surely fix. I've just been streaming this for the past couple hours with Lars and Ivan, so I haven't actually been looking at the Steam forums or anything. I'm sure there's hundreds of bug reports already that I need to start getting to. But that's just part of game design. So yeah, I'm trying to just like enjoy the blissfulness of talking to all of you and playing Len'S Island myself for a little bit of time before I get to bed, sleep for a couple hours, and then start fixing bugs, and the reality sets in of, you know, what we're doing. But it's been really cool. It's been really cool to sort of, you know, do this stream and share it with all of you. Because yeah, like you only get to release your first game once, and you know, I started off on YouTube making, like, you know, Call of Duty banners and graphic design tutorials, and then now I'm releasing a game to the wide world, which is really special. And I'm releasing it with, you know, it's not just me. We've got this amazing team of people that have all been able to sort of craft this experience, from the music to the visuals to the lighting to the programming. Yeah, it's been a long time. Like for those of you who don't know, like Len'S Island's been in development for around 4 years, give or take. Like it started off as a solo project that I technically started around like 4.5, 5 years ago, but the development of Len'S Island sort of officially started around 3 years ago. And then I got on board Martin, who's the lead programmer, and he came on board around 2 years ago. And then also Lars and Ivan and Daniel have come on since then as well. So it's been quite the journey. Like it's been a long time to get to this point. So sitting here now with the game released is like a pretty surreal moment for me personally, because it's been a long journey to get here. And if you haven't seen the documentary, I'd really suggest watching that, because we put out a documentary that sort of outlined the whole process of developing Len'S Island, and it's really cool. Daniel, who made a lot of the artwork for the game, made the documentary, and he did an amazing job. It's really cool. I'm really proud I'm really proud of what we managed to do here as well with the game. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, man, well done to you and Martin especially. I'm personally very impressed. It's really incredible, like how far you guys went. A game release like this size, it's amazing too.
Thank you. Yeah, look, it's I think it's something that if I could give any advice for other game developers, is like be proud of yourself and actually try to like really like think about your accomplishments, and yeah, like I just take the time to step back and realize what you've done, because like I'm learning that from my mistakes. We have not had a moment to step back and really like appreciate what we've done for the past few years, because we're just too busy making the game. So I understand the importance. Like it's really important to try and get those moments, because we've more or less sort of missed a lot of those moments because we're just too busy thinking about all the work. But as like a game developer, I can really like enjoy the moments, enjoy all those moments in between, because like it's really really hard game development, and everything surrounding games, the music, the audio, the programming, the art, it takes a lot of amazing talent to do it. So if you're someone that's in one of those talents, I don't know, just try and step back every so often and pat yourself on the back and be like, wow, I did a good job. Because it is really special. Or we can just see some trees grow. I don't know if you saw that. They like wiggled up. I like it when you get to see the trees grow. It's cool. Alright, I think I need to go to bed. Because yeah, it's been a good... I wonder how Len'S Island's doing. Actually, I'll quickly look at... I'll leave that open. I'll quickly look at some of the stats, and we'll try and sort of see. Because like I wonder how many people are playing Len'S Island right now. 1,150 people playing Len'S Island right now. That is amazing. That is really, really cool. Wow. And we'll
Just
see.
amazing.
Yeah, we've had tons
That's
of people
amazing.
playing it on Twitch and YouTube, and I've just been seeing all of the love and support coming in, which is like so cool. You know, like working sort of on this game in isolation, you know, that just sort of making this game with some beta testers and our Twitch and our Kickstarter backers, and then now going to everybody being able to play this game is really really cool. And it's also cool for us developers too. Like, wow, there's so many people playing Len'S Island on Twitch. That's awesome. I wish we could like raid a stream, but we can't raid across platforms, unfortunately. But yeah, it's really cool to sort of go from like a few developers and beta testers playing the game to now like thousands of people playing the game, because now we get to see like all of your opinions, get all your feedback, and like even if it's bad feedback, we get to hear your critiques, and we get to hear like the wider population, you know, talk about the game, which is like really really useful for us developers to make the game better. So yeah, if you haven't purchased a game, you know, hopefully you'll like it. It'd be awesome if you could purchase it, I guess, if you want to support the channel. If it's not your type of game, don't buy it. But if you like this sort of stuff, I think you will really like Len'S Island. If you're interested in survival crafting, open world games, farming, even like the more like dungeon crawler games, I think you'll really like Len'S Island. It's a cool game. And you can, yeah, I'm very biased because I'm the developer. But yeah, and buy the soundtrack. Lars made an amazing soundtrack too, and you can actually purchase a bundle for it on Steam, and you'll save like a few bucks and get like a little discount, like purchasing both of them. But yeah, I don't know, is there anything you guys want to say before we sort of leave everybody and go to bed?
Oh, I mean, it's really really fun to be part of this development and also coming to this point where we are releasing this game. And I'm really excited to see how it goes from here, and hopefully we can keep working on it, and as we are planning to do, and create a bunch of cool new features and content for the game.
Yeah, I'm really really excited to make Len'S Island so much better than what it is now, because like I already love Len'S Island. I really really enjoy playing it, and from what I can see so far, it looks like everybody else is really enjoying playing it, which is awesome. And it makes me really happy to think that it's such a cool game already, and like our plans for it are so much higher than what it is now. So if people think it's a good game now, they're going to think it's an amazing game in a year or two from now, which makes me really really excited too. But yeah, and I guess like another cool thing is just, you know, all the amazing people buying the game and supporting this is like you are what's moving this vehicle forward. You know, every time, like when you buy the soundtrack, when you buy the game, you are helping, you know, Len'S Island to grow. Like you're helping pay our rent, you're helping us hire new developers and build Flow Studio. So every single person playing the game, watching this YouTube channel and being a part of the community, like all of your collective efforts is what's made us get this far, and is what will turn, you know, us into just like a couple of, you know, YouTubers doing dev diaries, making a game in our spare time, and turn that into like a fully fledged game studio that makes games and has, you know, employees and does really cool stuff. So all of that is possible because of all of you. So thank you for your support. Thank you. It's yeah. I can't thank everybody enough. The Kickstarter backers for getting us to this point, and then the YouTube fans and everyone. It's been awesome to be. I feel like the music track in the game right now is so perfect for what I'm talking. But yeah, so it's like this deep emotional song. But yeah, I'm probably just rambling now because I'm so tired. So we're gonna end the stream. Thank you so much everybody for joining us and being a part of this launch. There will be more dev diaries coming out soon. There'll be tons of stuff to look forward to with the game. Now that the game's released, things will just start sort of ramping up. Like, stuff will get really exciting. So I hope you enjoy the stream, and we'll be talking soon. So catch you later, everybody.